Good evening. We are live. It's been a while since we've done our Monday night lives, but we're back. Thank you to everyone who has messaged me since we last did them, asking when we were going to resume them, how they missed them, and so that was really touching to know that we were missed. And by we, I mean me. So I've been wanting to do a live about this topic in particular for a while now, about the scales and their place in our journey and what they mean and how full of shit they can be and how disheartening they can be. And I have some really good examples of that I want to share with you. And I love that the memories on Facebook come up, and you know, I'm just reminded when these memories on Facebook and Instagram come up as to how full of shit the scales can really be and how disheartening that can be. But I just wanted to discuss that and share these prime examples of how if I just kind of put my stock in the scales as to my progress, I'd be a depressed mess. So yeah, I really want to discuss the scales and how they're bullshit. So let's discuss scales and how they're just not worth setting goals around. So prime example of this for me that had come up a while ago was when I first started my journey, losing weight, doing all of that. I had set my goals, and my biggest goal was my target weight. And so I was just so fixated on getting to this target weight, because I thought that once I got to this weight, automatically I would feel so accomplished, and I would love the way I looked, and my life would just be amazing once I got to this magic number on the scales. And so everything was about the countdown and how many kilos I had to go and all of that kind of stuff. And after I'd lost about I think I was around 75 kilos, I got my first ever DEXA scan, just because I was told that would be the most accurate kind of representation of where I stood in regards to numbers like body fat percentage and how much muscle and all of that kind of stuff. So I had one. So at about 76 kilos was my first ever DEXA scan, and that scan told me that I was 7% body fat, and I had lost 50 kilos. So you can imagine the percentage from the get-go. And I had something like 20 something kilos of lean muscle tissue, and I was just like gobsmacked. But anyway, I was like, okay, so that's well and good. But I had a DEXA scan not too long ago, and this is my point here. This is what kind of drove me to want to discuss this. The DEXA scan, and I sit today at 72 kilos. 4 kilos different to that 2 years ago. 4 kilos different. But I am sitting at 15% body fat, and I have 60 kilos of lean muscle. But if I hadn't educated myself and learned all about all of that stuff and done the DEXAs, if I had only moved 4 kilos in the 2 years, I would have been a depressed mess. I failed. I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not doing anything. Nothing's happening. But my whole body changed. The number on the scale didn't, but my body composition is. I am loving my body at this weight. You know, obviously getting comp ready and stuff like that. We're going to get leaner and all of that kind of stuff. But when I got to that magic number that I set at the beginning of my journey, target weight, do you think I was happy? My target weight was 64 kilos. When I got to 64 kilos, do you think that automatically I went, yep, made it. I'm so happy. My life is great. This, that, the other. No, I wasn't happy. I didn't look the way I thought I would look. It didn't feel as good as I had thought it was going to feel to get to that number. And then and what I ate or didn't eat or whatever, like all that sacrifice, it wasn't worth it. I wasn't even happy. And so then I kept going down. I got to 59 kilos. Still wasn't happy. You know, I might have been skinnier or skinny, but I didn't like my body. It wasn't, the number meant shit. It didn't actually give me any fulfillment. I wasn't happy, you know, like, all right, you look good in clothes, but still. So I just thought that, you know, that's what got me thinking, like, here I am 12 kilos heavier than that. But my body is just, it's stronger, it's fitter. I have, you know, the more lean muscle, so I look better and I feel better than I did when I was thinner and a higher, you know, body fat percentage and all that kind of stuff. But if I didn't know about my body fat numbers and all of that kind of stuff, and I was just basing everything on that scale, I would be a depressed mess. So in 2 years, if I was basing it on the scale, I made no progress. But even though I made no progress on the scale, my body is completely different. And that's why I want to discuss setting smarter goals, not a number goal. You know, scales have their place, don't get me wrong, they do, they have their place, but there's so many variables and there's so many things that can throw you out of whack, like not sleeping. I didn't know that shit sleeping was going to affect my body's ability to burn fat or to, you know, make some progress. Doesn't matter what you're eating, what you're doing, if you're stressed and you're not sleeping, your body just goes haywire. But I didn't know that. But I'm still looking at the scales and going, why are you moving? I'm failing. It just made me feel like shit because I didn't know that there was all of these variables then. So I know a lot of people that follow me are new to this. And so if there's anything that I want to be able to give you, is just sort of like an eye-opening kind of view about the scales, and that you, like, let's set some smarter goals. Let's do that together. Let's, you know, use different ways of measuring our success, and it doesn't even need to be physical. Even like the mental transformation to me is the biggest thing. And if you do that, if you master, you know, the demons and the triggers and the things that, you know, make you do what you do in order to, you know, stop yourself from being healthy or losing weight or doing whatever it is you want to do. Once you master that, the rest just follows. And I'm glad, Wendy, that you say that, you know, that was your biggest lesson, because it is a huge lesson. And yeah, Laura, like 100% strong is the new skinny. Like, you know, I never wanted to be skinny. I always wanted to be thicker than a Snicker, but in the right way, in a way that I felt good about myself and empowered as a woman. Life's hard and we have enough challenges as it is. And so if we put that pressure on ourselves to reach a certain number, and you think that that's going to bring you all this happiness, like once you reach that number, that was going to be it, and that you were going to be, oh yeah, achieved, done, then yeah, you're so sorely mistaken. But hey, Wendy, do you want to jump on with me? Do you have pants on today? I've been wanting to talk to Wendy down in Victoria for a long time, and today the gym's opened and stuff like that, so I want to kind of see how she went with her goals and stuff during all of that time, and has she been looking at the scales. Hey, Joy. Hey. I've been invited by Joy to go and speak at her amazing new gym. It's an old gym, like older gym, has just open at her gym, about losing the mental weight, and I love that. I cannot wait to do that because this is all part of that. So Wendy's got pants on. So do you want to actually join me, Wendy? Wendy is a legend, so determined. Absolutely. Oh, I'm so glad you're waving back. Wait, let me see if Wendy will go live with. Let's see. Where are you, Wendy? Here we go. Send request. And if anyone has any questions for Wendy, hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm Grouse. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, really good. It's been a long time coming. I've said that last time I tried to get you on, you rejected my request because you had no pants on. So
Yeah, well, that
pants
was a
are
bit of
optional
a habit. I've changed that habit, okay?
Don't change that habit. That's not fun. But how is it now? Like, how do you feel knowing that you can get back to the gym if you want to go? Like all of that. Like, how are you feeling at the moment down there?
I did try to book in for a session today, and unfortunately for the next 3 weeks, there's only 2 sessions available, and that's either 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning or 9 p.m. on a Saturday night. So, not hurrying back to the gym, sadly.
That's all right. That's all right. But I wanted to ask you, and actually, can you share with everyone what your goals are? What are you working towards now? Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm so impressed with you. Like, I love your story. So can you please share with everybody kind of where you were and what you're doing now?
All right, well, I'm following in your footsteps because I was a bit over 117 kilos, and I'm
Wow.
transformation with WBFF in May. That's my first goal, and then I'm going to be a figure athlete.
Oh, yes. Love that.
Yeah, so
So
that's
can you,
that's me in a
but you
nutshell.
are of a bodybuilding background though. Yeah?
Yes,
When
so
you were
my
younger,
dad.
in your heyday back then?
Oh, back then, yeah, yeah. Well, dad was always a bodybuilder. And my earliest memories are of mum taking me to the gym and doing little, kiddie gymnastics and stuff, and
Yeah.
little mini
Yeah,
dumbbells.
awesome.
Um, but yeah, I think when I was 30, I went, oh my God, I'm so old. Thought I should do something, so I went body. So that, and then I got to be 50, and I started to like go grey and fade into the woodwork and get really fat and just come to middle age basically. And I decided that wasn't sitting well with me. So I
That.
decided to get up and do something. So here I am doing it.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. And so, have you ever fallen into the trap of um, setting target weights and stuff like that, even though kind of you were like did bodybuilding, like, you know, in your 30s and stuff, but did you fall into that trap of trying to, because, you know, when we do get so much bigger, that's all, the number on the scale is like, you know, how big we're getting. But so did you have a number that you kind of told yourself that you would be happy to get to?
100% the first time round. Like when I was in my 30s, the scale was like, my God. And fair income, the stress that caused, incredible. I'd weigh 72 kilos for 3 days in a row, and the scale would move, and I'd freak out. And I'd go, like, I have to fucking sorry, I have to cardio for an extra 20
No, no,
minutes or
it's
something.
fine. We're all adults here. Yeah.
uh,
Wow.
yeah, so like, yeah, that stress related scale issue, when I didn't have
Yeah.
any expectations this time because I knew that I had a lot of challenges, so I'm just going to go with it. And so this time around
Yeah.
I've been a lot more relaxed, and I'm just like, hey, first time I lost 30 kilos, don't get me wrong, that felt good. But you know, now I just like, oh yeah, oh, that's me weight, yeah, cool. Um, I'd really like to be
Yeah.
100 kilos of packed muscle, man, like, you know, Hulk. But you know, dream on.
Yeah. Well, anything's possible. Anything's possible. But yeah, the stress of um, the number on the scale, I think that contributes, I think, to a high percentage of people packing it in and giving up,
I,
because of the stress of what that scale does to them. Like, how worthless it makes them feel, how it makes them feel like a failure. Like, I just think that the stock we put in to the number on the scales is way too big, and it actually costs us. It's expensive. It costs us our sanity, our self-worth, all of that kind of stuff. And we all fall into the trap of doing that.
I actually had this conversation just yesterday with my sister, by the way.
Okay.
Weeks, 80 kilos. And you go, well, that's fucked, that's not working. But you don't know that whilst you've been losing body fat, you've been building muscle, but you've got no other way of telling because scale is your only measure.
Yeah,
And that's a false read.
that's right. You know,
Mm.
and that's the thing too. And again, like, if you're, you know, especially for females around that time, holding more fluid, all of that kind of stuff, like, and you think, oh no, I haven't done anything, or I've put on weight, when really you haven't. It's just a hormonal thing. And
Yeah,
there's my
100%.
amazing nephew Baliotis joined us, my little techie advisor there.
I see a lot
So
of
yeah,
him.
we're going to
He's
take our
good.
podcast and our lives to a whole new level. And Bunny is going to be my little tech advisor and help me do that. I love these kids. Like, you know, they just know everything, and they can just tell us where to get all the good stuff and how it works and how easy it can be. But yeah, but you're right. Your sister, you know, having that conversation with your sister is, you know, it's actually, you're 100% right. But so many people just don't even do it. And even though they know better, they don't, they still don't do it. They don't listen to themselves. Like, you know, they
Yeah, yeah.
still jump on that scale day, every day.
Yeah, I mean, you're better off
So,
looking in the mirror
what
every
if
day. Sorry, you're better off
photos?
looking in the mirror.
Photos.
Photos, yeah, yeah, 100%, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's better
Because you know
ways
what,
to do it.
even looking in the mirror, like, we don't see what, we don't see a true reflection because we're biased, or, and that could be in a negative way too. Like, you know,
Correct,
I think
yeah.
photos are a more kind of, so you can put them side by side if you're struggling to see any changes or anything like that.
Mm.
But yeah, photos, or there's other ways you can measure your progress. So I want to know if you could give all of everyone that's in our shoes, that's watching or that will watch this a piece of advice, what has been the
Oh,
most, you know, that's given you the most peace and encouragement? Like, what would you say, like, to these people?
do you know that during COVID, it wasn't particularly kind to me on a personal level, but my Instagram community has been, I reached out and people reached back. And I've got to say that the support of my friends from IG is invaluable. I cannot tell you without that contact. I know people bag social media a lot, and it must sound strange coming from someone my age, but social media has been a lifesaver throughout COVID. So many ideas, so many inspirational people, including yourself, by the way. But
Uh,
you know, we got recipes, we got exercise variations, we got people still going for prep even though they didn't know what day it was, and you know, the indomitable human spirit was amazing.
yeah,
That was my
yeah.
that
So
was my biggest
I
support.
was, I know, I always encourage people. That's it. I would encourage people always to reach out. I know that a lot of
Yeah,
people, when I meet them, will say, "Oh, I didn't want to bother you," or "I wasn't
yeah,
sure if I should, say hello." Or, but do, because you know what? My biggest support, the same, because the people around you don't actually get it. Like, a lot of the time, you
yes,
know. So when
yes,
you find people that are doing the same thing or that have done it and whatever, they're always happy to assist you or be part of your journey or encourage you, because they know what it's like to be doing things like this and how challenging it can be when people aren't on the same journey as you that are around you physically. So I think,
yes,
and I've made some of the closest friendships
yeah,
through Instagram, and I love it. And
yeah.
I absolutely, like, again, it's invaluable to me. And it has been from day one when I started. And I was using it as a journal just so I could go back and show my daughter one day,
Yeah, yeah.
and now it's so much more to me than that. So, yeah, I am like with you a million percent with that. But that's, yeah. And you know what, Wendy, even doing these lives, I think this is when we kind of connected the most doing this. You would send your questions through, and and when I was doing with Joy the first time,
Yeah,
when
that's
her
right.
cat
Yeah,
fell off
yeah.
the roof or something, I can't remember.
That's right, the cat. Yeah, yeah.
So we have memories, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just a passing thing. We actually do form connections, and I think
No,
that is the
yeah.
most important thing when you're doing this. And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and
Human connection,
I
yeah.
adore you. I message you all the time, and every time I see something, I'm like, yes, go, go. It's like I'm invested in you. It doesn't matter that we've never physically met. I'm still invested in you and our connection and your success. I want to see you do it. And I can't wait for you to do it because I know you are. So yeah, I've just missed that. I think the connection is a bit rough at the moment. I don't know if you can hear me. All right, Wendy, I think we're losing you, but the connection's a bit the thing. But yeah, there's love there. We know it, and yeah, Wendy has been absolutely inspirational to me. And like I said, we formed a beautiful connection. And Laura, you are 100% right. You are a product of the people and the environment that you surround yourself with. And you can judge a person by the friends that they keep, not by their family, because we don't get to choose their family, but the friends that they choose to surround themselves with, you can actually quite accurately, you know, judge someone. And I know that's, you know, shitty to say, but you can. You actually can. Hey, Laura, do you want to jump on with me? Do you have pants on? Do you have pants on? Every time, I don't know if, yeah. Awesome. I don't know, Laura. Do you have pants on? Do you want to join me? Wait, let me try, and we'll see if she rejects me or not, because she might not want to. Okay, let's see. Let's see if Laura will jump on. Hey,
Yay!
you've got
Hello.
pants on. I love that.
I've got active wear on. My
Yeah.
attire.
It's almost like uniform, the active wear, you know.
Oh,
It's our professional attire.
the new attire. Working from home attire.
Yeah. So share with everyone where your accent's from, a little bit about you, how we met. Go share.
Yeah. So I'm from Dublin in Ireland, but I've lived here for about 10 years now. And I recently moved to Cronulla Beach and I bumped into Maria Ware outside some chicken shop in Carringfa. But where we actually met initially was at WBFF about a year and a bit ago. And I set out the back with everybody who did transformation, because that's what I was most interested in. Because it was all like, if you go into one part of the room, you couldn't get a space because there was all these quote unquote skinny bitches hanging around who had no interest in talking to anybody else but getting themselves sorted. Yeah. And you know, you go into another room and you can just get this like vibe of these women and girls who are just like, they've worked so hard. You know, there's girls who just like got on stage like, yeah, you look good in a bikini. There's no muscle mass there. It's just like, anyway, that's another story. Then you go women who've lost like, you know, 50 kgs, 60 kgs, and they're in a bikini on stage. And you're just like, that's fucking confidence. That's confidence right there. But when I first saw you was when we were practicing to go on stage for the first time, and you were doing going out and doing your steps, and just the confidence just beaming off you. I was just like, fuck yeah, girl, get it.
I was fucking pumped for that. Like, I have been working to that. I was going to have my moment, and I was going to make sure it was everything that I wanted it to be. And
exactly, it was sassy. It was very sassy. And then when they finally put the music on, we had to like, you know, beat her off the stage. We're like, come on, would you get ready? Come on, let's go. So yeah,
it was so good.
Yeah. But so for me, I did that. I was kind of pigeonholed into it really, because I was always an F45 person. My partner's like he grew up in the fitness industry in Goals, and he used to be the head trainer in Virgin Active. Never have your partner as your trainer, as my advice.
Yeah, been there, done that. When we're doing that again, let me tell you.
No, never again. I think the hardest part for me after being pigeonholed into it was I did it not the right way, not the way you did it, which you took time. I was already fit and strong, and then I had like a 4-month window to get down probably around 8-9 kilos, but still maintain muscle mass, and that was a heap of sacrifice. That was morning cardio, eating nothing, high protein, getting your weight session in, more cardio, and then just trying to shred water weight. Just kind of aesthetically trying to push. And then afterwards, it was the flip side. You can't maintain that weight. You can't maintain that weight, no matter how hard you try. So you get like some people, not everybody, gets, if you don't reverse diet properly. I've seen girls who were on stage who are now 3 times the size on their Instagram story.
The rebound is not pretty.
It's not pretty. And then afterwards, I didn't know what the obsession was with people who went straight down to the burger joint, or they had pizzas and lollies and stuff outside. I know that was to keep, you know, us from dying of starvation. But but like afterwards, the gorging, I was like, I don't understand. Like I just want to sleep now. I'm exhausted.
We
You know.
actually, Kylie and I had this stash that we had been stashing for every time we felt like something, we would buy it and we would stash it. And we brought it. And when we got back to the room, we didn't even touch it. It was just like, oh, this is overrated. We were dying to have all of this stuff. And then it's there and it's like,
That,
you know, and then you've got the seasoned athletes that are
yeah.
gorging themselves and rebounded really unhealthily, but mentally unhealthily. Like,
Well, that's what happens when your receptors switch off after you've been eating clenbuterol for the last 4 months.
no judgments here, right? We don't judge
I know.
No judgment. But
Yeah.
so were you okay, so as a fit, healthy person, you have always been fit, and Wendy's looking forward to a donut already. So am I, Wendy. Let me tell you. But what can you tell people as like someone that's been fairly fit forever and whatever, like how do you measure success that's not scale?
Yeah, so I used to be always on the scales, and I'd step on it and
So
I go.
you, as a fit person, fell into that too.
I fell into it for a long time because I did lose a lot. I put on a lot of weight as a teenager and then lost it. And then when I moved to Australia, this is a much healthier country, and I didn't drink as much as I did in Ireland because that's how we stay warm, and there's nothing else to do. Count sheep and drink.
Yeah, okay.
So here there's a lot more to do. So I managed to do well, and I entered my first IMBA competition. A coach I was with, God, 8 years ago, and then I kind of realized that that's not what I really wanted to do, and then got into more strength phase, which I really enjoyed. And as I said, I kind of got pigeonholed into the WBFF thing. But I again relied on the scales a lot. I've come away from that because I used to step on the scales and be like 67 kilos and hate myself, like literally just hate myself. And I had no understanding of why the scales were like, 2 kilos up when I was already 3 kilos down the day before. And I beat myself up with cardio. Ridiculous. I used to do like 4 or 5 F45 classes a day just to get.
Wow.
That was really bad. And it becomes like a habit and a cycle. So until you actually break that cycle and talk about it,
Did you ever think to yourself, because I know I didn't, I never thought to myself, hang on, let's step back and just have a look at you. Is there can you see 2 kilos? Can you see 3 kilos? Like, have I really put on weight, or, did you ever stand back and kind of try and look, or did you just go, right, that's what the scale says, I failed, or I'm a fat
immediately
shit.
to failure. Immediately to failure. You never take a step back and actually take a minute.
We don't even go into question. That's the hardest part for us to realize. We don't even question it. That is God, like you said, right there, that number.
Yeah.
So I want people to actually, all right, if you do jump on the scale, to start actually questioning, hang on, did I have a good night's sleep?
Yeah.
Is it this time of the month? Am I stressed? Are my cortisol levels up? Have I been drinking a lot lately and my metabolism's just a little bit not working at the moment? That's why it's saying so. It's going to take a while to kick back into gear. Like I want people to question, and then that way they can say, hang on a minute, and not go into that depression, not go and do the 4 or 5 F45 classes a day or whatever,
But it's about debunking the fitness industry, because for years, as I've been listening to this podcast by an ex-PT of mine, basically Sam, and he used to work for Les Mills, and then a girl who used to be on it is again Layla, and she was the same. She lost heaps of weight, and then she had a little girl, and then she put on heaps of weight after she had a little girl, and her story to success was just about habits. So she started by going for a 10-minute walk a day. And that's how she started.
Yep.
And she just did that 10-minute walk every single day. So I think when people put goals together, they say, okay, I'm going to drink 5 liters of water. I'm going to go for a half an hour run. I'm going to do all these different things. And then if they don't do all those, 20 things that they have on their list, as they said, they feel like they've failed. Where if you shorten it down and hit one goal, then move on to the next goal. It's a lot more easier.
You concentrate on one thing, nailing one thing at a time, and then you stack it. I just find that that's, you know, that works. And I was talking to a friend of mine today on the phone, and she's just decided that she will, she wants to compete, but she made it very clear from the beginning she's not going to win. She's not like myself, whereas if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go and try my best to get that. Whereas she wants it for her for different reasons, but she's still going to put everything in it and do whatever. Like, you know, you obviously, you know, you're going to commit and do everything that you got to do. And she was talking to someone she doesn't even know, again, on social media platform. She commented on something and they had a bit of an exchange. I've done a live with him before. His name is Ace Palou, and he's now in Albury, but he used to be Sydney based. And when she was saying, "Oh, I'm thinking about doing this," he just turned around and said, "Choose a division that you can still look like and be comfortable in a year later. Yep. Be realistic in what you're choosing to do and your goal, and make it like a lifestyle thing, you know, like obviously, you know, competition weight, there's no way you can look like that all the time. It's not even healthy. You don't even feel good. Why would you want to look like it if you feel like shit?
100%. But I think that's what people always they fail to do. It's like, why are you doing this? Is it to be healthier, or is it to look good in jeans? Or, you know, the why is a big indicator around how someone could be mentally just needing a bit of help, as opposed to, you know, or displacing something else that's going on with looking good. Like, I look at all my friends now and they have so many filters on their photographs and their videos, and I'm just like, I don't use, like, I use a filter when I'm feeling like shit, so you must feel shit all the time.
Yeah. Well, I don't, because I'm just like, dude, I've got bags. You know, my eyelashes look like they've gone on a bit of a bender at the moment. You know, and I just, it is what you see is what you get. And I'm just trying to keep it, you know, as authentic as I can, because, you know, I remember looking at people, you know, and whatever, and appreciating when I saw real. So I remember appreciating that, and then finding solace in their achievements and whatever, because they are real, they are relatable. And I just thought, that's what I want to keep there. You know, I've got the skin, I do all of that, I don't hide it, it's there. You know, I put it all out for people to see, you know, what it really looks like. Anyone can look good in different angles, different lighting, different this, different that. But, you know, and I'm selfieing all the time and doing the twists and the turns. But, you know, I do always bring it back to what it is right there in front of you. You know,
I was influencing the next generation as well. You know, that's the big thing. So I feel sorry for, you know, my younger cousins and even my little brother. Like, he's not so little anymore, he's 24, but like, the world they're growing up in is like, it's not right unless you look a certain way or have a filter on your face or something. And if I had to go through that as a kid, I'd be mental.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got a 10-year-old daughter, and I'm really, really mindful of that. And she's of a dancing background, and obviously, you know, dancing and stuff can be quite, you know, superficial, and you've got to look a certain way, and, you know, all of this kind of stuff. So I am really, again, that's another reason why I'm keeping it real. And, you know, I have conversations with my daughter, like, she's got the, you know, all right, you know what mummy was like, this, that, the other. This is repercussions of this and whatever. But, you know, and I said, mummy's not skinny now, but happy, I'm strong and fit and healthy. And because she's quite heavy set genetically. So I just need to show her that what is realistic for her genetically, you know, healthy, strong, whatever she can, but not to look at people that are not like her genetically. Like, she needs to be smart with who she's looking, because we all look to people for inspiration. There's nothing wrong with inspiration. You know, it's when it gets to the envy and the jealousy, and when it turns that corner and we don't even notice it happening when we so I just want her to be in a state of question. So when she feels like that, hang on a minute, let me like and debunk it herself. Like I wish I had those skills, and I, you know, sometimes still wish I had those skills. But
It's
just
hard
to
though.
debunk
It's
the, you know,
like when mum told me not to shave my legs and you still shave your legs. I'm going, damn, I really wish I never shaved my legs.
that's right. Actually, that happened to me.
Yeah. But that's that I was naturally born with the monkey genes, so.
Well, look.
Uh,
Like a
I,
monkey, but yeah, no, I just think, all right, so if you could give anyone watching that's starting out or finding it hard or just going through a funk, a piece
mm,
of advice, what would be the most, what did someone tell you one time that really kind of,
resonated.
yes.
Yeah. Always ask questions, you know, because you read things, you see things online, and I think the failure of a lot of people is they just don't ask enough questions. You know, is this legitimate? Why is this being pushed at me? You know, why is there so many 6-week shreds going at the moment? Oh, that's right, some are 6 weeks away. You
Yeah,
know, so kind of like ask more questions, even from the most qualified people. You know, like you got trainers out there and people you work with, and just keep asking questions, you know, until you fully understand. I mean, you got a full rounded picture of what your view is, then you can take the next step. But until
absolutely.
then,
I just think of being in a state of question, constantly questioning everything, even the way you're feeling. Is this mine or is this being projected on me or whatever? You can really get to the bottom of a lot of things. And a lot of the times it's not yours, or it's from a lack of knowledge, like I said, just questioning, you know, and learning and all of that. I think that's actually really important, to always question and to always not just, you know, all right, you trust these people, but you need to know why, not just
it's
do it,
also
you know.
people and the environment that you have around you. Like I'm 33 and I have a completely different, a smaller group of friends than I had when I was 28. It's not very far
100%.
apart, but it's the cull that started because
I always said, you know, my circle might be small, but fuck, it's
yeah,
mighty. Like, my
exactly.
circle is of quality, you know. I'm not, yeah, I believe in small circles and
Yeah,
true circle. You know, once you see that, you know, the older we get, I wish I knew it when I was younger, you know,
yeah,
but
100%.
yeah. But what did Simon say? I was unplaced at my last show, but I went there to win. Once I saw my footage on show, I realised I was a winner. See, that's good. See, like myself, I didn't win WBFF, but I won WBFF, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because what I went there to do, which was leave my past behind me,
Mm-hmm.
I did. So I come off a winner. So winning looks different to everyone. So you might not want to win a competition, but you win in other ways. So, and that's again coming from question. Hang on a minute, you know, I didn't win, but you know, and if you break it down, you think, fuck, I did. I kicked ass.
We had a great
So,
day.
yeah, I had so much fun. Are you
I had
kidding?
so much fun. So
And
much
I
fun.
just love the fact that I saw you again just randomly. As soon as I got out of the car, your dog. Oh
Yeah,
my God, this dog kills my life. The cuteness factor is off the charts.
yeah.
And I was just fixated on the puppy, as we do. And
You?
you actually said hi. And I'm just like, oh, hang on a minute. Someone's talking to me. The dog, you know, I was just wanting to talk to the dog. And I'm like, oh my God. So that was so good. I'm so glad. And we've had a coffee since then,
We
and
have,
we need to do it
yes.
again soon.
I'll bring the
But
dog.
see what comes of this. Like, I just think that, you know, social media can be actually real, if you're smart about it,
Mm-hmm.
it can be a really, really powerful and empowering tool to get, you know, to achieve goals and things like that. So, yes, thank you so much for talking to me on my live. So
Anytime. Talk to you
I love
anytime.
it. I love it because people, yeah, that's what I always do. I want to talk to different people, get different perspectives, and you know, something you say, you know, will stick with me, or you might have just said something that that person needed that day, you know, and I love that, and I love, you know, getting to know people like this. It's so fucking awesome. So
It
thank you
is.
so much.
Oh, no, thank you. I love following your journey. So excited.
I love following your puppy's journey.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go have
My
a play
fat
one
puppy.
day. But yeah, let's do coffee soon.
100%.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. All right. Chat to you
See ya.
soon.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. So, does anyone else want to jump on and have a chat with me? But, oh, hang on, just make myself comfortable here in my studio, aka my nephew's bedroom. But does anyone else have anything they want to add in regards to the scales and how it's made them feel, or does this does the scale give random numbers? It doesn't so much give random numbers, but the reason it gives you that number can be for many different reasons. And I just want to explain to everyone, Bunny is 11 years old. So this is an amazing question for someone that young who is jumping on the scales and questioning, is it right? You know, getting different numbers every day. And everything from, even as funny as this sounds, you know, if you've pooped that day properly, can, you know, make the numbers jump up and down. If you're not sleeping, funny with you, that can make the numbers go up and down. Stress, everything. There's so many different variables, you know. So I wouldn't actually, don't be getting on the scales. If you really wanted to, just how your clothes feel on you, if you're worried about it, or, you know, photos even, you know, have a look at photos, and if you think you've put on weight, and see, you know, have you really, or is it just the scale telling you that when you really haven't? So it can be really tricky, and they're cheeky, these scales, so don't put any stock in them. Take a photo, Wendy says. Yeah, the photos for me are it, because when I look at myself in the mirror, I see something completely different. And whether it be on a negative level or a positive level, it's always different, because it depends on how I feel when I'm actually looking at myself. So photos are honest, If they're, you know, obviously not posed photos, just normal, relaxed photos will give you a really good idea. Does anyone else have any questions? Hey, how are you? I have this beautiful lady here saying hello. We actually, my mum knows her family from young. Like, it's such a small world, but you know, I met her the other day when I was at Crew Fit in Mortdale doing the Food for Fitness promo, and she was just amazing. How often do I weigh myself? I actually only weigh myself once a week, and only because I'm comp prepping. So I go to my coach, JP, at JP Health and Nutrition, and as part of my check-in, weight is actually needed, but also for, like, we get my skin folds measured and all of that to test the body fat and all of that. But that's the only reason I weigh myself once a week. It's because it's part of the check-in process. But I don't, you know, I don't like weighing people that weighing themselves. Oh, Pandora, hey. Pandora's from JP Health and Nutrition, and she helps me with my check-ins and stuff when I go. So, yeah, that's the only reason I weigh myself that once a week. And even then, I even freak out, even though I know I've done everything right and whatever. But then I start to think, oh my God, have I done enough or whatever? Like, the scales are just evil. It's just evil. But, you know, even if the scales haven't moved, when they measure my skin folds and all of that, like, I've still made progress, but it could have been something as simple as not having enough sleep that week, or not having enough water, or anything. Like, there's so many variables. So, yeah, but if you wanted to, like, measure numbers, I guess, to weigh yourself, I wouldn't say once a week is plenty and too much even. Maybe once a month. Once a month, I think is a good thing. But yeah, sleep, Anthony, that's probably a problem for yours because you're always up. So, but I hope that's answered your question. I tried to be as honest as I can, but yeah, that's the only reason that I weigh myself is because I'm checking in, and it's for a purpose to measure kind of where I'm at and if there needs to be an adjustment made to my diet or to my like cardio amount or anything like that. So, and Wendy, yeah, DEXA every 6 weeks. My coach Tui Schwartz, she is all about the DEXAs and just really and stats and things like that. But yeah, definitely they are evil. They are evil. So don't put any stock in any of that. So does anyone else have any questions in regards to any of that? Because Pandora's here. She can. She's very knowledgeable as well, so she can jump on. I don't know. Are you wearing pants, Pandora? Do you want to jump on and talk to me? And because we're talking about scales and stuff like that, and how to monitor progress in a smarter way that's not as deflating as the scales can be. So I'm not sure if you're up to having a chat, seeing as though that's kind of what you do on a daily basis. You help people achieve their goals and maintain them, and also, yeah, you're part of the check-in process when they come in to check in and do all of that. So I'm not sure if you're available to talk, but if you could, that would be good because yeah, you could probably, shed some more light on no pants on here. Wow. Oh God. Lucky you. I don't even want to know why you don't have any pants on. So yeah, so like maybe, well, can you then tell us what other variables, things that affect your weight? The scars can either make or break my day. Absolutely. Like it could make or break my whole momentum that I had. If I was doing really well and then the scales told me something different, it would just bring everything to a halt. And whether that would trigger something emotional within me that would make me want to eat and do all of that kind of stuff, it triggers stuff. So you need to be in question of the scales, see them for what they are. It's just, a machine that cannot take into account the many variables that affect your weight. And like I said earlier, I'm not sure if you were around, you could have a glass of water and the scales will go up. It's not that you have put any fat on. Exactly. And when you're in that, if you don't question it, you're just going to take whatever that scale says as gospel. And that scale, nothing that scale says is gospel. Because even when checking in, like Pandora Cam Thingo, it's not just the number on the scale that they take into advantage. It's actual measurements, and it's 12 points, and it's of like your skin folds plus a measurement around your waist. It's not just it's a very scientific thing to get an accurate reading. So that scale can't give you anything accurate, and the fact that it can't give you anything accurate, we put so much stock in it, and then that can cause us to backtrack, get depressed, stuff it, it's not worth it, it's not working, whatever, and then off you go and revert back to everything that you were trying to move forward from. So is there a best time to jump on the scale? Well, apparently it's when you first wake up, you're fasted, and after you do a wee or a poo or whatever it is that you do in the morning is the best time. And a lot of people do it naked because they don't want the extra 500 grams on them that their clothes would weigh. So, and it can also be muscle gain. Yeah, we did say that before. Like Absolutely. If you're doing some, hectic exercise and you're, building up some lean muscle, it weighs more than fat. So that's exactly, that goes back to my first ever example of this, was the fact that I'm only 4 kilos difference in the scales that I was 2 years ago, but I'm 40 kilos of lean muscle heavier, and I look better than I did then. But if I just went on the number of the scales, it would have been no progress made, depression mode, you're shit at life, and just give up. So I'm glad that I actually have learnt to question and be in question of the scales and everything. So yeah, that's what they say, Anthony. Okay, Wendy, what's your question? Okay. The only scales to go by is the scales you weigh your food on. Yeah. You are on fire tonight, Pandora. What a shame you don't have any pants on so we can talk to you. Far out. See, this is cracker stuff. How good is that? I'm going to steal that. I am going to steal it, and I am going to use that quote. I love that. The only scales to go by is the scales you weigh your food on. Love that. Love that. My DNA test said I could put on 3 kilos. Is that my maximum? I don't actually understand the question. Or can I make my body put on more mass? I'm not really sure, to be honest. It's a bit out of my, see, this is where my coach Tui would come in, because she's all about stats and DNA and genetics and hormones and this, that, the other. Can I get back to you on that one, Wendy? Because that's actually I'd like to know too. So I will, I see Tui tomorrow morning. She's going to annihilate my ass, but it's back day tomorrow. Yes. But I will ask her that, and I will get back to you about that, because she will be the best one to ask, because that's right up her alley. So yeah, I will do that, and I'll get back to you, because I'm going to learn that too. I want to know the answer to that, and that's why I love this, because I learn as I go as well. Yeah, so no, that's a really, really good question. DNA and genetics and all of that kind of stuff, it plays a huge, huge, huge part in our makeup and what we can do and achieve as well. Again, it's about being realistic to, tomorrow's back day, Simon. Hey, Stavro. So we need to be realistic as to what actually is that we're geared towards, shape wise or that, and like I was saying, I try and teach my daughter is not to compare herself to someone that is completely different genetically and want to look like that, or okay, you might want to try and look like a version of that that's realistic for you. Oh, thanks, Simon. Dude, if you want encouragement and whatever, you need to follow Simon, because he is the biggest cheerleader I've ever met, and I love it, and I appreciate you, and I acknowledge you for that, because it takes a lot of energy, and you're prepping for comp, and you're doing NABA this weekend, and you've still got the energy to give people, and that's actually really it's a really big deal, and I want to acknowledge you for that. Good on you. That's really important, and it means a lot to people. Yes, the reality set in when my DNA test came back. You are not a genetic beast. You are not a genetic beast. Oh, wow. Well, you know what? I'm going to ask Tui about that. She may be able to put a spin on that. So there may be a way around it genetically. So I don't know, but yeah, that's really interesting. DNA and genetics and all of that kind of stuff is coming into it now. So yeah, but this will cut out at some point soon. If you have any more questions or whatever, please send them to me. I will reply to you, or I will put them aside for the next live. Oh, thanks, babe. Um, your support is amazing, and I appreciate you. Um, yeah, but yeah. So send me all the questions because this will automatically cut itself out at an hour. This live. So if you have them, and we'll do it for the next live. It will be a permanent spot on my schedule now. These Monday night lives at 8 o'clock. So put a recurring reminder in your phones, and yeah, there's so many amazing things. And if there's something that you want to address, or if you want to join me or talk about something on here with me, or if there's someone that you would like to hear from, let me know, and we can organize that, and yeah, get it out there, and help people reach their goals, and you know, maintain healthy goals, you know. And that's I think the most important thing is setting smart goals. um, you have so much knowledge, great information you shared. Thank you. Thanks, David. I really appreciate it. And I love sharing with people because I learned from people sharing their knowledge with me. So, and it's helped me get so far. And yeah, and if I can help someone like that, then I am all for it, all for it. Um, Hi, Sandy. How are you? How are you feeling? You got back to the gym today, I saw. Um, I'm just really excited for everybody in Victoria, that they can finally get back to the gym if that's what they wanted to do, and all of that kind of stuff. Um, yes, and I'm so glad that we need to do that coffee. We really do. I'm going to message you after this, and we're going to lock in a time, and we're going to sit down, and we're going to yeah, catch up properly. And I'm so glad that you live local. How good is that? So what did you train today, Sandy? What did you do? Like, was it like walking into a wonderland? How, like, what was it like getting back into the gym? Like, what did you do? Um, I'm curious. Like, I love, I'm seeing on Instagram what everyone is choosing to do. You can tell what they've missed the most um, by what they're doing, and the videos are up, and the posts are going nuts, and I love it. So yeah, Sandy, what was your exercise or workout of choice for the day? Yeah, curious, because it's so good. You can just, you know, see what people's favorite exercises or body part to train is. It was such a thrill. I trained full body, but leg press was fantastic. Yes, love it. Straight into the legs. A bit of everything, cover it all. But yeah, nah, Mondays is always good for legs, I think. I did a quad session today with the amazing Amy Fox, and yeah, there was much leg pressing involved, and it was good. Um, Fixed a few technical things for me. She's amazing like that. But I'm so glad that you're back in the gym, and you're doing things that you make you feel good and keeping you healthy. It was a long stint. You guys went through a lot, and wow, you know, everybody just got through it, and it's inspiring, so inspiring, and so great. um, hey, Kim, thanks for joining. So does anyone have any questions? um, I just want to also say I have another page called Team 2.0, because as you know, Maria 2.0 is my Insta tag, because 2.0, the new version of me, that's not even finished yet. We're still upgrading, building, doing all of that. But Team 2.0, I want to share people's progress and their videos and them kicking ass and all of that kind of stuff, and create a real positive community. And, you know, we all go through our funks. And so if we've got, you know, a community that can support us through a funk, and we can do the same back when, you know, somebody is in need, then you know, I'm all for it, and debunking bullshit myths like this, like the scales and all of that kind of stuff. then that's what I want to do with Team 2.0. So I tagged it in my last post with my before and afters that I did. So click on it and go and join that page and become part of the 2.0 community and start tagging us, and we'll share it all. And yeah, let's Team 2.0. Let's build better, healthier, happier selves together. Let's do that as a community, and yeah, build something positive here on Instagram together. We're stronger together. So yeah. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that has joined this live. It is such a privilege to have you all. And like I said, send me questions. We're going to be doing it every Monday. And yeah, huge, huge, huge love to you all. And no, I have no intention of stopping, Wendy, and I really, really loved having you on, and we're going to do a lot more of it. And yeah, thank you so much. Have a great, great night. And I will leave this up on my page. So if you wanted to share it with someone that you feel might, you know, need to hear something that you heard tonight or anything like that, please feel free to share it. I appreciate you all. And yeah, I will see you next Monday at 8 p.m. Good night.